everybody, thanks for stopping back by Wild Bird Creative. I've got a 6x9 piece of paper here, nothing special, just a heavy-duty piece of watercolor paper and some scraps from my very successful sorting of all my scraps into bins. This is just a piece of ledger sheet with an impression that I printed on it from, believe it or not, one of those boot mats that you can get to put inside your door. So I love the way that came out. I did it in several colors. It's just really, really easy to do too, and you can get those anywhere. Again, trip to the hardware store. Okay, this is going to be pretty much no mess. I don't think I'm going to pull out paints or anything. But we'll see. Sometimes things unfold unexpectedly. This is just a scrap from a Russian book that I cleaned a stencil off on, so it has a little bit of white paint just for some interest. Scrap, oops, whoops. Out of the way. Scrap of scrapbook paper that again I found at the bottom of a bin. It's been like a treasure hunt going through all my scraps. It's been very cathartic too. It's been good to get rid of things that I've hung on to for too long. Good to be able to find things that I do want to use. There we go. I love this little bit right here where I had cut out a sunflower. Okay, the other corner is going to have another piece from that Russian book. And another little piece of scrapbook paper. There we go. Everything is framed. You can see I just have a nice edge that I'm working with. Let me give it a nice roll here, make sure everything is down. Then I've just got a scrap that actually was one of those drugstore prescription bags. And I just used some stamps on it. And it just came out kind of cool. Let's see, where do I want this? Let's put it just off center. It's nice because it's kind of translucent. And hey, every time you go to the pharmacy, you get one. You even get one if you get pet meds at a local compounding place. Okay, these are simply just little circles that I had done with, oh, what do they call that stuff? Pipe insulation, those little foam bits. And I just used paint. You know what, let me reposition him. I want, get him up. Let me start at the bottom because I want to have interesting things inside these. I'm afraid I let that one dry too much. Let me put some more on it. Anyhow, I just dipped the bit of pipe insulation in paint and again put it on a Rite Aid prescription bag. Simple. With the black paint, obviously it's not quite so translucent, but that's okay. And I'm just going to overlap these a little bit, just so they form kind of a chain. This one's going to be a little trickier because it's got a spot where I cut it out, but we'll manage. I might even not care about that. I might just put it right like that. It ends up being a very free-form thing, and I could have just dipped it in paint and done it again, but I had all of these already made. So it was easier just to go with it. Now what I'm thinking is I want to add some more detail, but I want it to be very, very subtle. So I think what I'm going to do is just using my Stabilo pencil here, draw some freehand lines just to break up the book page a little bit. Do the same thing here. Now if I wanted, when I was done with this, I could wet these and they would smudge a little bit, but I want them to stay fairly crisp. There we go. Set everything out of the way. Bring in a nice colored pencil. Let me see. How about emerald green? And I'm just going to come in and just do a few scribbles. Not even scribble writing, just a line of scribbles. Just to add an extra bit of interest. It'll help soften that grid a little bit. And you'll notice I'm holding the pencil about midway up. The more to the end you hold it, the looser your hand gets. And it just makes scribbling a little easier. Let me show you. I've got a little scrap here. If I hold it at the very end, though this is probably not the best one to do. Where's my black one? Here you go. So holding it at the end, it's a lot harder to control versus when you are up tight on it. So either one, whichever you like better, very loose or tight, doesn't matter. But here we've got a finished piece. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different scraps, and it's done. It's nice and bold. It feels kind of like that point in fall where you still have the green, but you've got the color of the leaves and the last of the flowers in the garden. I don't know, just pull out your stuff, have some fun, enjoy yourself, make some time for yourself so that you can do things that you like, develop your skills, use up those many scraps that you have been saving. If you can't bear to part with them, you can always make a copy and tear up the copy instead. But put some of them to use. Have some fun. Get creative. Enjoy your day. Thanks for stopping by. Wild Bird Creative.